If you're over 60 and struggling to open jars, climb stairs, or get out of chairs without help, your days of depending on others are about to end. What if I told you there's a vegetable that has 9 times more protein than eggs, but 99% of seniors have absolutely no idea it even exists? By the end of this video, you'll discover how some of the world's longest living people are staying strong, independent, and active well into their 90s and beyond, using nothing but 10 common vegetables. But here's the shocking part. The pharmaceutical and supplement industries have spent millions keeping this information from you. Right now, before you watch another second, subscribe and turn on notifications. This video could change your life. You've been told your whole life that eggs are the perfect protein for muscle building. But what doctors won't tell you is that one large egg contains 186 milligrams of dietary cholesterol. That's over half your recommended daily limit. For seniors with heart disease risk factors, this isn't just a number. It's a ticking time bomb. Arterial plaque buildup, elevated bad cholesterol, increased risk of heart attack and stroke. And if you're already managing high cholesterol, diabetes, or hypertension, your body can't regulate cholesterol absorption effectively. You're essentially playing Russian roulette with your health every time you crack an egg. But what if there was a better way? Vegetable 1. Cooked spinach. A 150 to 200 gram serving of cooked spinach delivers 5 to 7 grams of complete protein, roughly equivalent to 1 medium egg. But here's where spinach destroys eggs. 0 cholesterol. 0 risk. But it doesn't stop there. That same serving delivers 6x your daily vitamin K needs, for bone density, 4x your folate requirements, for DNA repair, massive amounts of iron, magnesium, and potassium, powerful antioxidants that protect against age-related eye disease, nitrates that improve blood flow and muscle growth. The cooking process increases nutrient absorption by up to 300%. The iron becomes accessible, fighting anemia that affects nearly 10% of seniors. The concentrated folate supports DNA repair. The magnesium and potassium become highly available for muscle function. To prepare spinach optimally, steam lightly for 2 to 3 minutes to preserve nutrients while increasing absorption. Best combinations for muscle building. Cooked spinach with Greek yogurt and berries for breakfast, spinach with quinoa and chickpeas for lunch, cooked spinach with salmon and sweet potato for dinner. Vegetable 2. Cooked kale. When seniors consume cooked kale, something remarkable happens inside their bodies. 6.9 grams of complete protein per 150 to 200 gram serving. High levels of vitamin C, vitamin K, and calcium that's more bioavailable than dairy products. The cooking process makes these nutrients up to 400% more absorbable than raw kale. But here's what shocked researchers. Kale contains compounds called glucosinolates that reduce inflammation throughout the body, helping muscles recover faster from daily activities and exercise. It contains more calcium per calorie than milk. It provides a rare plant-based source of omega-3 fatty acids that specifically target age-related muscle loss. And its unique combination of nitrates and antioxidants can increase muscle protein synthesis by up to 25% in adults over 65. This isn't a supplement. This is nature's most powerful anti-sarcopenia food. How to prepare it? Massage the leaves first to break down tough fibers. Sauté with olive oil for 3 to 4 minutes until wilted but still vibrant green. Maximum protein combinations. Cooked kale with cottage cheese and walnuts for breakfast, kale with lentils and hemp seeds for lunch, kale with grilled chicken and quinoa for dinner. Vegetable 3. Cooked mustard greens. I need to tell you about Margaret. She was 72 years old when her world fell apart. Her daughter found her crying on the bathroom floor, too weak to stand up after a simple trip to the toilet. The emergency room doctors ran test after test. The lead physician pulled her family aside with the diagnosis: advanced sarcopenia. Her muscle mass was dying at an alarming rate. At that stage, it's usually irreversible. They sent her home with expensive protein powders and told her family to make her comfortable. It was essentially a death sentence. But Margaret remembered something. Her own grandmother used to force-feed the family a bitter, peppery green during the recession, something everyone hated, but somehow kept them strong through the hardest times. Mustard greens. Against her doctor's skepticism, Margaret started eating a massive bowl of cooked mustard greens every single morning. Within 2 weeks, Margaret was walking to her mailbox. By month 3, she was gardening again. Her latest blood work showed muscle protein markers that her doctor called impossible for someone her age. Here's what Margaret discovered that the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. A 150 to 200 gram serving of cooked mustard greens contains 5 to 6 grams of complete protein, nearly matching a whole egg, but without the cholesterol that could kill seniors with heart conditions. They deliver over 500% of your daily vitamin K needs, which directly commands your body to build bone density. Massive doses of calcium that's more absorbable than milk. Unique compounds called glucosinolates that literally reverse muscle fiber breakdown in seniors over 65. But here's the real secret. Mustard greens contain the highest concentration of myrosinase enzyme found in any vegetable. A compound that pharmaceutical companies spend millions trying to recreate because it can reverse age-related muscle loss by up to 30% in just weeks. Margaret accidentally stumbled upon nature's most powerful anti-aging weapon disguised as a weed that most people throw away. Vegetable 4, cooked green peas. I almost got sued for sharing this secret. My colleague, a physician I'd worked with for years, called me at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. His voice was shaking. You need to take down that article immediately. The pharmaceutical lobby is asking questions, and frankly, what you're sharing could destroy a billion-dollar industry overnight. I had published a simple story about a 68-year-old man's miraculous recovery using nothing but cooked green peas. Apparently, I had stumbled onto something much bigger. 3 weeks earlier, he could barely climb the front porch steps without gasping for air. His muscles had reduced so quickly that his cardiologist was preparing him for a wheelchair. Within 48 hours of starting his daily cooked green peas ritual, something extraordinary began happening in his body. The cooking process had broken down the plant's cellular walls, creating a 300% increase in nutrient absorption, essentially turning each serving into a concentrated muscle-building powerhouse. His body was suddenly enriched with bioavailable iron and massive doses of folate. The call from the legal department came on day 12. You're interfering with established medical protocols. We're going to need you to retract your claims. But his father's transformation was undeniable. His muscle mass had increased visibly. His energy had returned. His blood work showed improvements his doctor called medically impossible. Here's what they didn't want revealed. A 150 to 200 gram serving of cooked green peas delivers 7 to 8.5 grams of complete protein, virtually above a large egg, but without the saturated fats. More vitamin K than almost any other food source, delivering over 6x your daily needs in a single serving. This vitamin literally commands your body to build bone density and strengthen muscle attachments. Magnesium and potassium become highly concentrated when cooked, creating the perfect electrolyte balance for muscle contraction and preventing dangerous cramping that leads to falls in seniors. The nitrates don't just improve blood flow, they enhance oxygen delivery to muscles during exercise. The concentrated antioxidants protect against oxidative damage that accelerates muscle aging. The pharmaceutical industry lost a potential customer for life. And that's exactly why they tried to silence this information. But now you know the truth. Vegetable 5, cooked broccoli. I stumbled upon this by complete accident when my diabetic uncle started stealing vegetables from his neighbor's garden. What happened next defied everything doctors told us about aging. Uncle Frank was 74. His diabetes had progressed to the point where his endocrinologist was discussing amputation. His muscle mass had reduced to almost nothing. We thought he was losing his mind when we caught him sneaking through the backyard at 3 a.m. with a flashlight and garden shears. I'm not crazy, he insisted. That woman grows magic broccoli, and I'm going to prove it. We rolled our eyes. We assumed it was diabetic dementia. But Frank had discovered something that would turn our understanding of senior nutrition completely upside down. His neighbor had been growing an heirloom variety of broccoli that she cooked in a specific way her Italian grandmother had taught her. When Frank started his midnight raids, he was unknowingly consuming 150 to 200 gram servings of perfectly prepared broccoli that contained an astounding 6 to 8 grams of complete protein, nearly matching 2 eggs, but with 0 cholesterol and a fraction of the calories. Within 6 weeks, something impossible began happening. His blood sugar levels stabilized without medication changes. But more shocking was his physical transformation. The man who couldn't walk to the mailbox was suddenly helping us move furniture. His muscle tone returned so dramatically that his own doctor accused him of secretly taking steroids. The breakthrough came when we finally convinced his neighbor to reveal her cooking method. She had been lightly steaming the broccoli for exactly 4 minutes, then shocking it in ice water, a technique that preserved the maximum amount of sulforaphane, a compound most people destroy through overcooking. This sulforaphane doesn't just fight cancer. It directly stimulates muscle protein synthesis in seniors by activating dormant growth pathways that doctors assumed were permanently shut down after age 65. That stolen broccoli was also delivering massive doses of vitamin C, 200% plus daily needs per serving, supercharging iron absorption and collagen production for muscle repair, chromium content that helps regulate blood sugar, naturally fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria producing compounds essential for muscle maintenance. The timing wasn't random. That precise 4-minute steam followed by ice shock creates the perfect cellular breakdown to release compounds called glucosinolates, which act like natural anabolic agents in aging bodies. Frank had stumbled upon a preparation method that pharmaceutical companies spend millions trying to replicate in expensive supplements. Today, Frank is 78. His diabetes is in complete remission, and he's gained 15 pounds of pure muscle mass. His doctor now refers other patients to learn his broccoli protocol. Vegetable 6. Cooked asparagus. Here's something that might surprise you. Have you ever noticed how cooked asparagus makes your peas smell funky? Well, that same compound causing that weird smell is actually doing something incredible for your muscles, especially if you're over 50. When seniors eat cooked asparagus, they're getting a muscle-protecting powerhouse that most people completely overlook. Cooked asparagus is packed with glutathione, a powerful compound that keeps your muscles safe from strain and breakdown. As we age, our bodies produce less glutathione. This is why muscle recovery takes longer and your strength starts to decrease. But here's where it gets interesting. Cooked asparagus delivers way more glutathione than raw asparagus. The cooking process breaks down tough fibers and makes all those muscle-supporting nutrients more available to your body. How to cook asparagus the right way. Snap off the woody ends, toss with a little olive oil and salt, roast at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes until tender but still with a slight bite. Don't overcook into mush. You want them vibrant green and slightly caramelized. Perfect combinations. Breakfast: scrambled eggs with roasted asparagus and crumbled feta cheese. Lunch: grilled salmon with asparagus and quinoa. Dinner: lean beef strips stir-fried with asparagus and sweet potato cubes. Vegetable 7. Cooked Brussels sprouts. There's a nursing home in Florida where 90% of residents can walk unassisted. Other facilities started investigating to figure out their secret. They discovered the kitchen was adding this one vegetable to every meal. Cooked Brussels sprouts. Here's what's shocking. A single cup contains 6.6 grams of complete protein, nearly identical to one whole egg. But here's the crucial difference. Eggs can spike your cholesterol levels and cause digestive upset in seniors. Brussels sprouts have 0 cholesterol, 0 digestive distress. Brussels sprouts contain vitamin K2, which literally directs calcium into your bones instead of your arteries, preventing the calcium buildup in arteries that leads to heart disease. They're packed with folate, which helps your body actually use protein to build muscle tissue. Plus, they contain glucosinolates that reduce the inflammation that destroys muscle as we age. How to prepare them so they actually taste good. Most people ruin Brussels sprouts. Here's the secret. Cut them in half, toss with olive oil and sea salt, roast at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes until edges are crispy and caramelize. The bitterness disappears and they become almost sweet. Perfect combinations. Breakfast: dice them up and sauté with scrambled eggs. Double your protein intake. Lunch: add roasted Brussels sprouts to a chicken salad or wrap dinner. Pair with salmon or lean beef. The vitamin C in Brussels sprouts actually helps your body absorb more protein from the meat. The Florida nursing home serves them roasted with garlic at breakfast, shredded raw in coleslaw at lunch, and steamed with butter at dinner. Their residents don't just survive. Vegetable 8. Lima beans. There's an 87-year-old woman in my practice who was losing weight rapidly. Her family was preparing for the worst. Then her visiting nurse, who was from the south, started bringing her homemade soup made with lima beans. 6 weeks later, this woman had gained 15 pounds of pure muscle. Her family couldn't believe their eyes. Here's the science behind this incredible transformation. Lima beans contain 8.8 grams of complete protein per cup. But that's not what makes them special. They're loaded with lysine, an amino acid that's absolutely critical for muscle protein synthesis in seniors. Most plant foods are dangerously low in lysine, but lima beans are packed with it. Lima beans also contain something called resistant starch, which feeds beneficial bacteria in your gut. These bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that actually help your muscles absorb and utilize protein more efficiently. It's like having a built-in protein amplifier system. Plus, they're rich in magnesium and potassium, two minerals that prevent muscle cramps and support muscle contraction. The fiber helps stabilize blood sugar, preventing the muscle-wasting spikes and crashes that destroy lean tissue in seniors. How to prepare them properly: never eat them raw or undercooked. They contain compounds that can be hard to digest. Soak dried lima beans overnight, then simmer for 60 to 90 minutes until creamy and tender. For frozen lima beans, steam for 12 to 15 minutes until soft but not mushy. Perfect combinations. Breakfast: mash cooked lima beans with butter and sea salt, spread on whole grain toast like avocado. Lunch: add to chicken or vegetable soup. They'll thicken the broth naturally and boost protein content. Dinner: sauté with garlic and herbs as a side dish, or puree into a creamy, protein-rich sauce for fish or chicken. Vegetable 9. Edamame, soybeans. During World War II, soldiers who were captured and fed only these survived longer and maintained strength. Military nutritionists couldn't explain it. Now I know why. This vegetable contains every amino acid your muscles need to stay strong. Edamame contains an incredible 11.9 grams of complete protein per cup. That's nearly double what you get from an egg. Here's what happens in your muscles when you eat edamame. Within 30 minutes, your bloodstream floods with leucine, the master amino acid that literally switches on muscle protein synthesis. Your muscle fibers start rebuilding themselves immediately. The isoflavones in edamame increase something called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor, which tells your muscles to grow bigger and stronger. At the same time, edamame blocks cortisol, the stress hormone that breaks down muscle tissue in seniors. But there's more. Edamame contains folate and vitamin K, which work together to improve blood flow to your muscles. More blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your muscle fibers, accelerating recovery and growth. The best way to prepare edamame: buy them frozen in the pod for maximum freshness. Boil salted water, add frozen pods, and cook for exactly 5 minutes. Drain and sprinkle with coarse sea salt. Or buy shelled edamame and steam for 3 to 4 minutes until bright green and tender. Perfect combinations. Breakfast: add shelled edamame to scrambled eggs or an omelette. You'll get 20 grams of muscle-building protein in one meal. Lunch: toss warm edamame into salads or grain bowls. Dinner: sauté shelled edamame with garlic and ginger as a side dish, or blend them into protein-rich hummus. The key: timing. Eat edamame within 2 hours after any physical activity, even just walking or doing household chores. That's when your muscles are primed to absorb every amino acid and start the rebuilding process immediately. Vegetable 10. Sweet corn. There's a small town in Vermont where people routinely live past 100. Scientists studied their diet for decades. The only thing they all had in common? They ate this fresh from their gardens every summer and froze enough to last all winter. Sweet corn delivers 7.8 grams of high-quality protein per cup. But what makes it extraordinary for muscle building is something called zeaxanthin. This powerful antioxidant doesn't just protect your eyes. It prevents muscle breakdown by neutralizing the free radicals that destroy muscle fibers as we age. When you eat sweet corn, your body releases a surge of B vitamins essential for converting protein into actual muscle tissue. Corn contains more niacin than almost any other vegetable. And niacin is what helps your muscles actually use the protein you're eating instead of just passing it through your system. Sweet corn also provides sustained energy through complex carbohydrates, crucial for seniors. Without adequate carbs, your body starts breaking down muscle tissue for fuel. The Vermont centenarians understood this instinctively. Corn gave them the energy to stay active while preserving their precious muscle mass. Plus, corn contains magnesium and phosphorus, which work together to prevent muscle cramps and support strong muscle contractions. The fiber helps maintain steady blood sugar, preventing the insulin spikes that trigger muscle loss. How to prepare it for maximum nutrition? Never overcook corn. The timing is critical. Fresh corn, boil for just 4 to 5 minutes, steam for 6 to 7 minutes, or grill for 8 to 10 minutes. Frozen corn, steam for 3 to 4 minutes. Overcooking destroys the B vitamins and makes the protein harder to digest. Perfect combinations. Breakfast, add corn kernels to scrambled eggs or breakfast hash lunch. Mix corn into chicken salad or add to soups and stews. Dinner, grill corn on the cob with herbs or sauté kernels with bell peppers and onions as a protein-rich side dish. Now, here's what's going to separate two types of people watching this video. The first group will nod along. Maybe they'll feel excited about what they've learned. But then they'll close this video and go right back to their same old routine. They'll grab their usual breakfast tomorrow, skip the vegetables, and wonder why nothing ever changes. The second group, the action takers. These are the people who will pause this video right now and write down these 10 vegetables. They'll make a grocery list. They'll try at least 3 of these vegetables this week. They're the ones who will still be walking strong and independent at 95. Which group are you in? I genuinely want to know, and I want to help you succeed. So right now, comment below and tell me which of these 10 vegetables you're going to try first. If you have questions about how to prepare them, when to eat them, or how much to eat, ask me in the comments. I read every single comment, and I'll personally answer your questions. Because here's the truth, information without action is just entertainment. Your muscles are waiting for you to make a decision. Your independence at 80, 90, and beyond depends on what you do in the next 24 hours. Speaking of action, if you're serious about rebuilding your muscle strength, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Tomorrow's video reveals the one thing you should add to your morning coffee that can rebuild muscle tissue faster than any supplement on the market. This discovery shocked even me, and it costs less than 50 cents per day. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now so you don't miss it. This could be the missing piece that transforms everything for you.